Hello, and I was finished watching it in Arcadia Ego Part 2, the final episode of Star Trek Picard Season 1. So this is my immediate, uh, unorganized stream of conscious thoughts. I mean, just watch the episode. Um, I have a couple of thoughts. I mean, I enjoyed it. First, from the top, I think as a 10-part single story, it's weird. A lot of people want to compare, people like to compare sequels or subsequent productions of series with the previous ones, even if they're not entirely the same kind of thing. So the problem with like comparing Picard and Discovery to Star Trek is they're different forms of media. They're set in the same universe and the same people and the same genre, but they're and the same kind of message, kind of sometimes, with a different types of shows. It's like comparing the Star Trek films with Star Trek TV series. They're two different things. Like Star Trek First Contact is very much a Star Trek film, but it'd be really out of place if that was like a two-parter episode, kind of. Because as a film, you've got a complete different goals. In the same way, we've been on an era where film and TV aren't that entirely distinct. So shows we make now in 2020 are gonna be different from shows we make in 1980s and the 1990s. Um, and so like you can't compare a 10-part serialized, well, 10-part story on Amazon Prime Video with the serialized, no, episodic rather format of kind of early Star Trek. So kind of have to twist that mindset and compare it as an actual show in of itself rather than kind of back to Picard, compare back to Next Generation because that's not fair on this show. Okay, so let's start with the twist at the end. It's a weird thing when you often have a 10-part story. The last episode in the season that deals with the story, actually only half the episode is actually dealing with the story, and the other half is kind of just wrapping up the season. So it's kind of two different stories in a sense. Most of the actual plot happens in the previous episode. So Sunga discovers that it was actually one of his androids who kills another android in order to complete their goal, and kind of realizes that his androids aren't the perfect beings they're meant to be, and this kind of inspires him to switch face, which I guess is fair. Um, I don't. Okay, Narek's motives. I'm not entirely sure what I'm meant to be discerning from that. I don't know if that's going to be something that's left to be resolved in the next episode, in the next season, or if I've missed something completely. But he just seems to. I'm not really. I don't know. It's like he tells his sister he's going to use the bombs to destroy the flowers that are used to bring down the ships, but then goes to the protagonists and tells them the bombs are to destroy the beacon. And initially, I'm like, oh, well, maybe he's deceiving them so that he can help them get in, so he can destroy the flowers. But then it turns out that actually no, he was. This is fully his plan, entirely to go and destroy the beacon. So from a meta level, it looks like what we're watching here is a heel face turn that he's portraying a sister and helping the good guys. Except their goals here are the same. So why? Why did he give his sister one plan and then go to another plan when this plan actually would probably accomplish the same thing that everyone else was trying to accomplish? Um, I mean, hey, it's not as if the flowers actually caused that much of an issue for the Romulan fleet. There were so many of the Romulan ships that didn't, like it established in our previous episode, it wasn't very much of a deterrent anyway. Narek's actions are very confusing in this entire episode. I wasn't really. Also, actually, let's back a bit of Narek. Why did the other androids free him? That I don't understand. Because freeing Narek doesn't affect anything. It was her own. It helped bring about her own downfall. But what was her plan of Narek? Why was she freeing Narek? Oh, I suppose it was because she wanted Narek to kill the other synth, so that synth, so then she could blame that synth's death on Narek, and then they could be inspired to go and rise up. But then why didn't she just kill the synth? Like, in fact, no, wait, she did kill the synth. Um, I suppose she needed Narek out of it, didn't she? That was the best way to go about it. That was, yeah. okay. I think I'm kind of guessing the logic behind her actions. I still understand all of Nerek's actions in this episode. Um, yeah, they kind of killed off Rizzo, who we still don't know who her real name is. Um, kind of when she became no longer useful to the plot. Actually, she stopped being useful to the plot 2 episodes ago. Really, I just seemed like they had something to. Well, the thing is, we didn't even need to bring her back in this episode. Like she wasn't in the last episode, so it wasn't established until this episode that she was actually hiding on the Borg ship. We assumed from the last time we saw her that she beamed away onto another ship. So it wasn't actually clear that she was still on this ship. So I don't know why they brought her back just to kill her. And they could have kept her as a recurring enemy for the future episodes, but I guess that's the kind of thing that happened. Everything else I guess made sense. And actually, yeah, Patrick Stewart acted his heart out, and it was very. I guess it was more Star Trekky in this message, and but um, eh, it's, no, it was very Star Trekky in its kind of story it was telling. It was just telling it in a very different way. It, I think yeah, it ran fine, and I think the idea that it's a simple and obvious way to resolve the conflict, but that's kind of the point because we're kind of having to remember all these synths are actually children, like Picard says, dealing with them as children as a way to really help them realize that they need to not run by fear and need to instead, you know, have a more open mind. So I guess it's now from the resolution of Picard for sacrificing his life to inspire the Simps, because really that's on par with how a Simp's mind works. I don't get why Romulans back down so quickly. These Romulans were fanatic about destroying the Simps. Someone with that level of fanaticism and that level of ingrained prejudice, you can change them, but you don't change them like that. She was fully willing to sacrifice lives to fight the Starfleet, fleet. Um, you know, the Federation. She was fully willing to sacrifice lives to defeat the Federation fleet, just to destroy the synthetic army, and then just some gesture that they weren't going to bring the apocalypse today was enough to let her go. I think that was a bit too much of Duke's Ex Machina, but well, that slide. And then yeah, Picard dies from the effort. And we get this really nice part with him and Data, and I actually enjoyed the kind of interaction between him and Data. This is actual Data, or his consciousness that's been salvaged, or from Nemesis. They get to talk one last time. I think it's a nice kind of culmination of their respective character arcs, because Data and Picard always had this interesting relationship, and we never really saw a resolution to that. We get to see that now. That's nice. We get to see Data actually enjoy a human death, and that's I think probably the most enjoy mortality. I think that's the perfect resolution to his arc. So I absolutely love what they did with Data, and then it was established that they were able to. Apparently, you can just in an instant before someone dies, copy paste their entire consciousness with so much detail that it's identical to them as a person, and then transfer that to a golem identical to them as a person. So effectively, Star Trek has now actually pretty much established immortality, um, which is a bit weird, I guess. I'm not sure if there's anything. I mean, people like to joke that the Khan blood in Star Trek Into Darkness was Star Trek discovering immortality, and that's a funny joke, but it's actually not what happened. I'm just gonna twist my mic here, so sorry for the noise. Um, it was established that Kirk hasn't actually died in Star Trek Into Darkness. He was close to death, and then the Bloods resurrected him, which that's what they said in dialogue. In execution, I can get whether it was a confusion and it wasn't executed very well, but that was a dialogue. I don't think there's actually been the case in the past. I mean, the medical science has advanced enough that they can. No, I don't think there's been a case in the past where they've managed to capture someone's entire consciousness to kind of preserve their memory. So it's established that it was very much a choice for Picard to have mortality. Like he asked, "Am I immortal?" And like, "Oh no, no, we will pay attention to kind of your whole your beliefs and stuff. We're gonna make it so you die naturally in a couple of years," which is all well and good. Um, but that means that anybody who was tempted by immortality could very easily just be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna just put my conscience into a robotic android and like live forever." And like you've got your same memories, you've got your same everything else. You are effectively immortal now. You can even give yourself powers you can say to upgrade later on. I hope they do ramifications for that, because that's kind of big. Sure, Picard doesn't take those upgrades, but it doesn't stop anyone else from doing it. I also think it's a bit convenient that as soon as it's always happened, they lifted the synth ban. Like, the synth ban. I mean, the synth ban itself maybe should be given a bit more focus, because you think after Measure of a Man, they'd probably put more kind of emphasis in the rights of androids, but I guess we can assume that happened and we just didn't see it. So you think similarly overturning that would be something more significant, and hopefully we deal with that too. But yeah, no, I think it was a nice finish to the story, and it was a very poignant ending, and I think it's very Star Trek, apart from the whole immortality thing, which I'm very distracted about. There's also a nice callback to a previous episode, and like I for laugh, me remember what it was. I was remembering seeing, oh yeah, this is kind of feeding back to that thing that was talked about, and now I can't remember what it was. So sorry, and I'm getting a bit dizzy now because it's now 3 in the morning. So I've been awake for 19 hours. So I should probably go to bed. So I'll probably go wrap it up there. But yeah, yeah, interested to see where what the next Star Trek is, and see more of Patrick Stewart, and hopefully just the consequences of what's happened here. So, thanks for watching. Oh god, I am literally about to crash. Yeah, thanks for watching these with me, and I will see you guys when I next see you, I suppose. Get this feeling to my tongue I was gonna say in these videos. You know what, I'm just gonna end it, otherwise I'm gonna be rambling. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time.